Just let the love flow into the hearts of your neighbors, and let the light shine up from the depths of your soul. Just let the blues grow.
Well, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. I don't know what time that you're going to be watching this, but we're back once again. I'm Jerry Lynn Fraser, and this is Reverend Maria Shamaya Clemente.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello.
And we're really so delighted to be back here with you. You know, it's wonderful to be with Reverend Maria because one aspect of the love, the oneness, the togetherness, I think sometimes people are really serious to the point to the point of having long faces and thinking that we have to be deprived and maybe not have happy looks. But I have to say that being with Reverend Maria, it has always been just a joy because she not only speaks of the oneness, the love, of peace, she absolutely embodies it. There's a feeling of love and comfort around her. So we're so happy to have you here.
It's from the woman who wrote a song called "The Joke's on You."
That's right.
So yes, our cosmic comedian, our beautiful Jerry here, she has a wonderful sense of joy as well.
Well, I hope when you listen to the album Just Use Your Love that you'll pay special attention to the jokes on you. Because isn't it true that sometimes when we think of spirituality or about making a difference in our world, that we think it's so burdensome and it's such a big problem. Instead, that there is a joy, that there is a love, there's a presence that absolutely wants us to express our joy and
it's
our
like
love.
this saying by Ernest Holmes, wouldn't it be wonderful if we were a group of people who stood for something and were against nothing, which would then put you in joy and love and peace, because you wouldn't constantly be fighting against, you'd be back again into that love of power instead of the power of love. You'd lose your peace in the midst of all things. That's right. So here we are, being two beautiful women who stand for something with joy and love and peace in our hearts.
That's right. Now, I know, Reverend Maria, that over the last few years you have designed and you've facilitated several programs and events based upon the principles of peace and spirituality. You've done this for a number of diverse spiritual communities. Could you speak a little bit more for us about that feeling, that presence, peace, spirituality? Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about the peace this morning. How is it that we can actually be the peace? So we're looking at our lives from a practical side. Let's say from a practical side. Every moment of our life we have a choice, don't we? Every moment of our life we have a choice what thoughts we want to entertain, what feelings we want to experience, what actions we want to take. Are these actions, these thoughts, these feelings moving us more in the direction of peace? Are they moving us away from the experience of peace? We were laughing in the last video about the Walmart ministry, but is it better in your life to antagonize the person who has 13 items in the 12-item line? Or is it better to know that this is where they are in that moment and to experience more peace, to bless them, and maybe something's going on in their life that we don't know about, but to open our hearts and our minds and extend that sense of compassion. So we're talking about it on a practical level, on an individual level, and that certainly does translate then to the global level and the collective level. The choices that we make in this country, in different religions, with different races, are they moving us towards peace, being for something, or are they moving us away peace, where we're constantly resisting, fighting, being antagonistic? Are we choosing peace in everyday life? Just as you share on your CD about just using your love, I'm talking about just being the peace. So you certainly see that as well in your experience as being the love. How on a practical level do you experience the love in your everyday life?
How do I?
Yes, how do
Practical.
you?
Well, certainly for those of us who are, I'm married and I do have a family. We're, I don't really want to use the word confronted, but I guess that really is what it is. We're confronted with issues every day where we have a choice. We have a choice when something is potentially annoying to do what we would call choose the love, choose the peace, choose to change the thought and the accompanying feeling to one of acceptance and love, or allow certain things to antagonize us, and then peace seems to flee immediately in the face of that. It's always an inside job.
It is.
It's always a change that takes place within the individual, within each of us. And I have said this so frequently in our study group meetings or in conversations that we've had, that I know that the practice of this is often imperfect, but there's an awareness, I'm going to say in my life now, where I have seen the result of certain thoughts, feelings, and actions that I have, if they are thoughts and feelings of and actions that embody, I'm going to use the word annoyance rather than a nastier word, or when I change those thoughts, feelings, and actions, and my words, of course, to those of love and acceptance and peace.
Yes.
Peace is ever available to every single one of us, but it does take that change inside each one of us.
Yes. And I really experienced that when I began studying in the field of peace and nonviolence and understanding the Sanskrit origin of the word nonviolence. The Sanskrit word is ahimsa.
Yes, ahimsa.
Ahimsa being violence and ahimsa being nonviolence. Well, when you really understand the meaning of it from that level, the origin of it, it doesn't merely mean the absence of violence. Nonviolence doesn't mean just the absence of violence, because the universe doesn't operate in a void, if you will. It doesn't operate in a state of nothingness. It always operates in a state of something. So it's not just an absence of violence, it's an active presence of love.
Yes.
So it's a conscious shift that you're making in your life from not merely resisting violence or hoping that your life is not filled with those moments of annoyance or violence, but to a realization that now you need to replace previously violent, annoyed thoughts with the active presence of love in your daily life. So when we say that we're for something and against nothing, you can't just spend your whole life being against the annoying people, against the annoying thoughts, against those people that disagree with you, against those people that irritate you. Now it's up to us to replace those feelings with the presence of love. Choose love, choose peace. So be for that active, become that active presence.
Oh yes, absolutely. Bob Merrill wrote those wonderful lyrics, just use your love and everything gets easy.
Yes.
And it does. Just use your love and you can do whatever you want. That whatever from love always is peaceful, always is good, always is difference making in a positive way. Yeah. You had mentioned earlier that at one point you had lunch with Arun Gandhi.
I met Arun Gandhi and we were having lunch at a conference. I got to sit next to him. And,
Oh, wonderful.
And that was when his lovely wife Sunanda Gandhi was still alive. To be in the presence of the great masters is so enlightening, and to see someone who really lived the active presence of peace tremendous influence. Perhaps the greatest experience, though, was to actually meet and shake the hand of Rosa Parks.
Oh.
And to feel the energy of that woman, just like the presence of the great ones like Gandhi.
That's right.
And each of us has the opportunity then to leave that legacy behind, don't we? We have to
Yes,
leave
we
that
do.
legend behind. To say, now here was a woman, Jerry, who used her love, who really was the embodiment of that. That's what people will remember long after you're gone.
That would be my joy. Yes, definitely. I heard a new definition. I don't know if it's a new definition. I love, as you said, ahimsa, that it isn't just not being against something, like against the annoyance or the anger, but actually embracing and being the peace. And I had never thought of nonviolence as actually being nonviolent against the world by recycling, let's say. You know, every act we make makes a difference this way, that way, one way or another. Every thought we think makes a difference this way or that way, one way or another. I am seeking to be more and more conscious with each passing day, each passing month, each passing year, more and more conscious of my thoughts and feelings, knowing that they make a difference. And one might say, well, this one plastic bottle that you put in the recyclables, what difference does that make? That is actually an act of nonviolence. And I had not considered that until I actually did read Arun Gandhi's words in that regard. Nonviolence truly does mean not just being passive, but truly making a difference in our world in, for lack of a better way to put it, the right way, in the way of love.
So you're going back to that idea that we started off the last conversation with, of oneness.
Oneness.
That every action we have has ripples.
Oh, yes.
And those ripples extend out. So if you're choosing to be more conscious with the earth, if you're choosing to be more conscious with your thoughts, all of those actions and all of those thoughts then ripple out and affect people. That one plastic bottle, you think about where it came from, who manufactured it, where it's going. It's the cycle of life that continues on. So what we're really learning to do is to be more conscious of oneness, to be more conscious of love, to be more conscious of peace. Not, as Jerry said in the beginning, to just get so serious and afraid and resist and fight, but to open up with eyes and hearts and minds and hands wide open and to say, how can I serve this world in its moment of becoming, in this world of oneness?
Yes.
And that's what we do through our music, through our writing, through our message. And you know, hopefully as we get a chance to get out in the world and share that message with you and whatever community you're in, you get to experience that oneness, that love, that peace at a deeper level.
Absolutely, yes. We do a number. We've done a couple of workshops together where Reverend Maria was bringing her wonderful message of oneness and peace and wholeness to various communities, and it has been my joy to participate in that with my music, which speaks or sings the same message.
It does.
And we would be so delighted to join you in your spiritual community with our message of oneness and peace.
So come check us out, check out our websites, and we'll be coming soon to